November 4, 2024. This is the S&P 500 E-futures mini on the 2000 tick chart. This is what the chart looked like today. It was very kind of slow going. There weren't too many setups that I could find, and the ones that I did find, there weren't very many. Also, there were setups that had like signal bars that were inside bars. It looked like it was in the pre-market. It kind of rallied and then took everything back, opened, made two legs up, consolidated, had this big sell-off, another bounce up, and into kind of this weird, just overall choppy, rather slow day. There wasn't any economic data to move the markets in any which way. Today was rather uneventful, and I anticipate tomorrow might be somewhat the same way because tomorrow's election day. So I think just a lot of traders, a lot of institutions are just kind of sitting on the sidelines until I think election day and all this stuff kind of blows over. Then I think things will probably pick up. So there's a FOMC meeting this week. So I know on FOMC meeting weeks, Mondays and Tuesdays are usually really slow. And then on Wednesday, when the rate decision comes out, then I think it really picks up a lot because also on that day, there's some more than just the FOMC rate decision. That Chair Powell comes out and starts talking. There's usually some other economic data that comes out and it causes a lot of really choppy price action. So today is a slow day. Tomorrow, I think, will be a slow day. And then Wednesday could be pretty volatile and somewhat dangerous to trade because I think you're going to see some crazy movement. Plus, you'll have some, I think, preliminary election results coming in because I don't think they're going to know for sure who won just because there's a lot of, I guess, a lot of things that are going to happen, lawsuits, whatever, that could drag out the actual knowing who won for quite a while. So I think it's today, this week, it might just be kind of a be very careful day. Now, I did take one trade today. It wasn't the best setup, but that was the only one trade that I got. And then I didn't identify too many other setups. So I'm going to get into the trades right now. Okay. Didn't mean to move that. It was actually right here somewhat. Okay. Anyways, I'll fix it when I get there. In the pre-market, it was kind of early in the AM. Things are just choppy. Had had these interesting two-legged moves. There was a trade that I thought might have been worth it, but it's in the pre-market. It created a new low. There's an obvious support here. It's a first entry short push up. The second entry short here. This is technically your signal bar, and this is your trigger bar, which is the follow through. It's a pretty good trigger bar. Follows through nicely. There's enough room for a scalp, but again, it's in the pre-market, so I don't take that trade. I'm also not around to take this trade. The market opens. I find this yellow down channel. It looks like it's touching pretty well. One touch, two touch. Hits the support, has a small breakout here, and it starts reversing on what I think is this orange up channel. Initially, I had this orange up channel tighter like this. Then it had it break out in the dwell for quite a while. Then I actually dragged it up to here. Made it look like a two-tier channel right there. There's a second entry long here. It's like a first entry long, pullback, second entry long. It's not a really good signal bar. Not really telling me that much. I didn't like that it broke through the EMA, so there's no trade here. There is actually a trade that I took here, which is the higher low. So it's a break of this orange up channel. And I'm thinking I might want to test the highs. So it comes back and actually tests the high here. But at this point, I actually have this secondary orange up channel going. They had a first entry short pullback, second entry short right here. But I saw this kind of visual first entry short pullback, second entry short, potential higher low. And I like that it moved one tick below and pushed up. The thing is, it's a little risky because it's a doji bar, but it confirms the second entry short visual. Because technically you have first entry short, second entry short, third entry short. Like I saw as first entry short, another leg up, second entry short, higher low, potentially testing the high of this orange up channel. It is a little risky because whether this orange channel is valid or not, this big one, it's tested the high, but it looked like there's enough momentum. So what happened was on this next candle, it opened, pushed down, came up, and it was looking like there was some strong momentum pushing up. So I entered at the high of this previous candle. I was able to get my scalp, push up, and then I moved my runner from break even, from down here to break even plus one tick. And while this one was forming, my stop was just kind of like still down here. It opened, and that's when I opened. That's when I drag my stop loss to 1 tick above here and stop me out. If I kept it all the way down here, 1 tick below this guy, it looked like I would have survived and gotten a better scalp, but that's okay. Sometimes, I think most of the time runners don't work out, and the times that they do, you can get a pretty good couple of points, more than a couple of points. So I'm okay with that one. Creates a new high. It's a first entry long, second entry long. Second entry long, I thought was a possible trade. Here, the EMA is starting to get a little bit more bullish, and there's a green down coming down. So uptrend has played out. Let's break. That's the new high. And this first entry long, second entry long. It's a break of this green down channel. Green down channel also has played out and tested its low. So I'm thinking maybe there's a long here just because I like the good signal bar. It's first entry long, second entry long. There could be enough for momentum push up. I didn't have this trading range drawn yet, but it looks like if I entered, I probably would have entered, to be honest. I tried to enter at the highs of this, and it only moved up 3 ticks. I actually moved up a whole point. It's debatable whether I would have gotten a fill. If I entered, I think I would have gotten stopped out right on this candle here. And I would have chopped around. Maybe would have gotten a fill if I was able to, because I'd have 1 tick below. So I it's kind of questionable whether I would have even gotten out here or would have even gotten stopped out here. So it's just kind of choppy. So unfortunately, I thought it was a possible trade. I didn't take it, fortunately, but it just wasn't playing out. The reason I didn't really take it was I was confused on this orange up channel has played out, tested the high. This orange up channel has played out, tested the high. So the going high or going long has played out in both cases, testing the highs, the extremes. Now this green down channel only tested once. In real time, I'm thinking, is this going to make a second attempt down? Because I don't have this yellow up channel drawn yet. So I was a little confused, just kind of sat, saw this, and I thought, hmm, maybe there's a trade. But when it closed, I thought, okay, well, actually, I'm not too sure what's going on. Wait for a higher low. You don't really get a higher low because the count resets here. You do kind of get a higher low here, but it's not the best signal bar, which is telling me to wait. And prices move up. It creates the second entry long, which is like, excuse me, second entry short, which I thought was an almost trade. So up until here, I'm thinking I'm in a up channel. Kind of fits pretty well. It breaks out, starts moving sideways. It's a new high. It's a first entry long pullback, second entry long, but I also saw it as a first entry long, second entry long. But the green down channel has played out, tested lows. So am I going to go push higher or lower? It's hard to say because it's not moving back into the yellow up channel. So it's a little unsure, but I did see this in new low here. First entry short, pull back. This second entry short, this is what makes it an almost trade. You have a confirmed second entry short, but the signal bar here was bullish. So here, when I'm seeing this, I'm not thinking of going short yet. Here you have a confirmed second entry short, so I'm still not thinking of going short yet, although I like that this is a good close. The trigger bar follow through is kind of nice, except it closed to the bottom, but it didn't push far enough. So I'm still worried about a potential support, which is designated by this blue line. So it adds some ambiguity, similar to something like right here. So this made it an almost trade, and I just kind of sat in my hands. And it pushed through, and it looked like it would have worked, but again, I don't know that at the time. As they're pushing, it falls into what looks like this trading range. It's just getting choppy and noisy. It's a new high. It's a first entry long pullback, second entry long here, or you can see a visual first entry, second entry. In any case, it's just not the best signal bars. It's just a little bit too congested. I'm not really 100% sure what's going on, so I'm just sitting on my hands. Pushes up and then it starts selling off on this, off of no news that I could find. And I was looking for a potential failed second entry long. So you have a first entry long here. Technically, you have a second entry long here and it fails. But here, it's nowhere near the EMA. This green down channel wasn't drawn this clean initially. Plus, I'm thinking there might be some kind of support here. I was also debating whether there's going to be a failed breakout and push back into range, because this is what you see in real time. I don't have this green down channel fully established, so I'm not really trusting it. But it keeps moving down. And then as you see it run away, there's no real way to chase this or get into this. You technically have a new low here, first entry short just barely, and then the second entry short, but it just feels risky because I'm coming into the pre-market lows, which is designated by this blue line. So Could this be a failed breakout and push back into this bigger pre-market range? Highly doubtful, being this is already a really strong push down. So suddenly expect a huge reversal back up is asking a lot. You need something, you need like 2 attempts or just something more confirmed. But I wasn't also ready to take a short. Prices then continue moving down, hits the sideways consolidation, just nothing really worth trading or really feeling safe. Bounces. EMA looks like it's actually holding resistance now. It's a new low, first entry short, second entry short here. It's not a good signal bar, leaving it alone. The only thing that would make me think of going short is if there was a lower high, but there's no lower high here. Continues down as a failed breakout of what I think is this blue trading range. Moves up, break, first entry short. It's actually way up here. So it's actually, you don't get a first entry short till here. So now if I do get a second entry short, I'm not even thinking of going short. And if I get a failed second entry short, it's too far from the EMA. So there's really no trade here or no clean setup I can see setting up. Prices move up. This when I draw this yellow up channel, looks like it fits kind of well. But then it breaks out and moves horizontal. There's a second entry long here, but that's not a good signal bar. Pushes down. You actually have a first entry long, second entry long. If you reset the count here, another clean swing high, localized high. You have a first entry long just right here, but that's all you get. You do have a second entry long here. I call it an almost trade. And just go ahead and zoom right here. So you have a new low. It pushes up. You have first entry short, second entry short. It's just sideways consolidation. By the time you get here, you do have a new high, first entry long, second entry long. But second entry long, you're buying into the top of this trading range. Plus, this trading range kind of coincides with this resistance area where prices had trouble fully breaking through. So although you have a decent signal bar, I don't think there's any trade here. It just feels risky. But in this case, it looked like it would have worked for a quick scalp. Then prices continue chopping. Hits this larger trading rangey area, but I didn't draw this until much later, and there wasn't that much telling me telling me what's really going on here, because you have new high, first entry long pullback. Technically, you have a second entry long. This is okay signal bar, but it just looks choppy. There's just not that much going on. I didn't really like this setup as a second entry long here. Confirm second entry long, but the follow through is risky. Just gets choppy. You have technically a localized new high. There's a big new high here, but you can reset the count here. First entry long pullback, second entry long, but it's just nothing really that convincing. You have a new low here, first entry short, pullback. You could have a second entry short here, but it's an inside bar. In the follow through, you have a confirmed second entry short. EMA isn't really giving you any extra help, so it's just like nothing really clean here. I'm leaving it alone. There's a failed breakout here. First entry short pullback, second entry short. Second entry short is coming up. So you do have a double high. So this is actually inside bar. Then you have a confirmed second entry short. So it does break, test the new high. First entry short, second entry short. EMA is a little flat. You could take this trade, but I didn't like it just because it's inside bar. Confirmed second entry short. I'm looking for a lower high. And you kind of get a lower high here. But this feels like it's just in the middle of this range, at least the range that I have drawn. It just feels like I'm not that excited about this trade. It gets choppy and it finally breaks through and out of this trading range. First entry short, second entry short. Again, this second entry short, it does confirm a second entry short here. You have a break of this channel, test of the new high, and maybe prices are coming back down, but could this be a failed breakout, move back into range? Probably not, but I'm not that convinced on taking this trade yet. I want a lower high, and you don't get a lower high. So there's a lot of these setups today that it felt dicey. My intuition isn't good enough to know that it's going to play out a certain way. So I was always looking for the confirmation, lower high, higher low, failure, but they never really quite set up just right. Then it kind of pushes down. Your first entry short, second entry short. I mean, it's just getting into the last 10 minutes and just nothing really all that exciting today in terms of setups. I mean, if you were able to jump on this somehow, that would have been fantastic. Or if you're able to jump on this short somehow, that also would have been fantastic. To be honest, I didn't see any clean opportunities to jump on these and ride them down. So I did take this one trade, which wasn't the best, but was happy that I got the one green trade and kind of left it alone. Not that many trade setups in general. That's kind of how I saw it. I anticipate tomorrow will probably be the same way, so I may just kind of take off tomorrow if after the first couple hours I see there's nothing really setting up. Plus, the first couple hours are when most of the setups historically for me look like they're the easiest to trade, and then it gets just very slow throughout the day. Not that there aren't any trade setups, it's just usually slow. And the last probably hour, it might get a little bit more volatility. So I don't know. It remains to be seen. So hopefully this was helpful.